Your cat knows your schedule better than you do. Your cat knew you were going to get up this morning before you even opened your eyes. Not guessing, not luck, science. Cats have been quietly building a mental map of your entire daily routine, and they update it constantly. Every move you make, every sound, every smell, your cat is tracking all of it. And the scary part? They're probably better at predicting your next move than you are. So today we're breaking down exactly how your cat does this, why it happens, and what it actually says about the relationship between you two, because it's way more interesting than most people think. The thing most cat owners get wrong. Most cat owners think their cat just happens to show up at the right time. Like right when you're about to open a can of food, or right when you're heading toward the door, your cat is suddenly just there. People call it coincidence. Some think their cat got lucky. But that's not what's happening at all. What your cat is actually doing takes real mental work. They're paying attention to patterns that you don't even notice you're making. And they're using those patterns to predict, with surprising accuracy, what's about to happen next. The wild part is that cats don't need clocks or calendars to pull this off. They've built their own internal system for tracking time and routine, and it works really well. Let's talk about how. The built-in clock.
First, can cats actually tell time? Not the way we do. They don't look at a clock and think 7 a.m., breakfast time. But they have something called a circadian rhythm, just like us. It's a biological clock built into their body that runs on a roughly 24-hour cycle. This clock controls when they feel hungry, when they feel sleepy, when they feel alert. So even if you locked your cat in a room with no windows and no outside sounds, they would still roughly know what part of the day it is, because their body is telling them. But on top of that internal clock, cats also read environmental cues to stay accurate. Light levels, temperature changes, sounds from outside, smells in the house, all of this feeds into their sense of what time it is. And then on top of that, they layer in everything they've learned about your schedule specifically. So your cat is running 3 systems at once: their body clock, the environment around them, and what they've observed about you. All 3 working together, every single day. How they actually learn your routine. Say you wake up every morning at 7 a.m. The first day, your cat might just happen to be awake. Second day, same thing. By day 3, something is already registering. By the end of the week, your cat has started connecting the early morning light, the sound of your alarm, maybe even the way you shift in your sleep before you wake up, with the idea that you're about to get up. Cats are wired for pattern recognition. Research on animal cognition shows that cats can distinguish between time intervals and learn to associate specific behaviors with specific times of day. Scientists call this temporal learning, basically learning to predict things based on when they tend to happen.
But cats go further than just tracking time. They track you. Your cat has noticed the exact sequence of things you do before you leave the house. Put on shoes, grab keys, pick up bag. Your cat has seen this enough times that when you put on your shoes, their brain immediately jumps to keys next, then bag, then door. They're running through the whole sequence before you finish step 1. That's why some cats get anxious before you leave, even though you haven't said a word. They're not reacting to the fact that you're leaving. They're reacting to the prediction that you're about to, triggered by a single cue at step 1. The smell clock. Here's something most people have no idea about. Cats use scent to tell time. When you leave a room, you leave behind a scent. That scent is strong at first, then it fades. Cats can smell the difference in scent strength and use that to estimate roughly how long ago you were somewhere. So if you usually get home around 5 p.m. and left at 8 a.m., your cat might start drifting toward the front door around 4:45. Not because they read a clock, but because the fading scent of you in the house has dropped to a level that, based on past experience, means you're close to coming back. This is why cats are often spotted sitting by the front door right before their owner arrives. It's a combination of your scent fading to a specific threshold, their body clock, the light in the house, and memory of your past schedule all clicking together at once. When you break the pattern. One of the easiest ways to see how sharp your cat's tracking system really is: break the routine. Change your schedule for a weekend. Stay home sick, start a new shift.
you'll notice your cat acting differently pretty quickly. More vocal, more clingy, showing up in rooms at the wrong times, meowing at you when you should be getting up but aren't. That's their prediction model getting out of sync with reality. They expected you to do X, you did Y, and it throws them off. This happens because routine signals safety for cats. Predictability means nothing threatening is going on. When the pattern breaks, they feel a low level of stress. Not dramatic, but real enough to change their behavior. The good news is cats adapt fast. Give it a week or two with a new schedule, and they'll have completely rebuilt their model around it. They're not stubborn about routines. They're just very tuned into them. What this actually says about your relationship. Here's the part most people miss entirely.
When your cat follows you to the bathroom, shows up at the foot of your bed right as your alarm goes off, or sits by the door before you even decide you're leaving, that's not just routine behavior. That's your cat paying close attention to you, constantly. They've built a mental model of you specifically, your patterns, your habits, your timing. That's a form of investment. They chose to learn you. Think about it from their side. Cats track everything in their environment. The fact that they've carved out this whole category of their awareness just for your behavior says something real. You are their most important environmental variable. Some animal behaviorists believe this kind of routine tracking is actually part of how cats form attachment. It's quieter than how dogs show it, less obvious, but the mental work behind it is genuine. When your cat predicts your routine, they're not running a cold survival calculation. They're doing something that looks a lot like paying attention to someone they care about. What you can do with this. If your cat acts anxious when your schedule shifts, don't take it personally and don't dismiss it. Their internal model is off, and that genuinely stresses them out. The best thing you can do is build strong anchor points in your day, especially around feeding, which is the most important fix point for most cats. If your cat gets clingy before you leave or weird after you come home, that's their tracking system firing. They're not broken or dramatic. They've just learned your patterns deeply, and they feel the deviations. And if you have a cat that's anxious or skittish in general, consistent daily routines actually help. Predictable feeding times, play times, sleep times. It builds a stable, readable world for them, which is a calmer one. Here's the bottom line. Your cat isn't psychic. They're not magic. But they are genuinely surprisingly smart. They're using their body clock, environmental signals, scent, and a detailed memory of your specific habits to build a running prediction of your day. Without language, without a phone, without even thinking about it consciously. Just pure pattern recognition, running in the background, all the time. Next time your cat shows up right before your alarm, or sits by the door before you've decided you're leaving, they knew. They were paying attention. They always are. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.